Good morning. I am higher vibrations, and so are you. Wow, what amazing, amazing few weeks. I mean, there's been so much coming in. It's been really fun to hear people saying, I got this gift, I got that gift, I can do this now. Like we all already had these gifts. We all already were channels. We were already healers. We were already all of these things. It's just it was, just out of visual range for us, and so it's really, really cool to see, people finally accessing these things that they've truly been meaning to and wanted to time. It's at first when we first get some of these things kind of startling. We don't know what it is, when we're starting to be able to hear others as they speak to us. They speak before it leaves your mouth, before they truly part their lips. There's this moment when a person projects what they're going to tell you. And I've noticed it a few different times too, when someone interrupts, or they, more of a timid speaker, or I guess a better way of saying that is somebody who's more gracious of others who want to share. Um, and I'll hear what they're saying over and over again before they get a chance to say it. That by the time that sometimes it gets around to them speaking, I've already processed what they have to share. So it's kind of cool. Anyway, I just wanted to say these gifts that we're all getting, people are getting coming online right now, are things that you've always had. It's just that now you more and more are learning to trust yourself, to believe yourself, and then therefore having the relaxation and the calm and the love when these new things are coming in. And instead of reacting with concern, startlement, even fear, we're reacting with intrigue and, oh, what was that? How can I do that again? And I find that the calmer and the more loving space in the place of appreciation. I love that. During we had this big party here for the total eclipse. We're in the line of where the line of totality was. Um, and during this gathering, this beautiful party we had, someone had done, after a meditation, we had done several group meditations together, and one of them, afterward, this individual, this brother, he started to talk about the difference between appreciation and gratitude. And immediately, for a moment, I wanted to feel like that maybe was not correct, but it truly is. The way that we appreciate, it's not I owe, or I've, oh wow, I see how much you've given me, so there's some type of like you're above me in some way. And the appreciation is truly holding the resonance of, what I mean when I say being in a place of gratitude, being in a place of appreciation for all things, for all things that we things. It's really cool. So anyway, thank you all who came to the party. That was so beautiful and so lovely. It was a really good send off, because this is kind of like the goodbye to this land. I'm going to be going someplace else, and it was just so beautiful to get to share that with all of you, and to be in the line of totality together in this unified way. There were some really cool things that happened. Somebody was holding a crystal that I had gotten from the crystal mine here, and it was this beautiful clear quartz, and I was going to pass it to each person to hold for a time. This was during totality, I believe, or during the eclipse in some part of it. And anyhow, hey, is it a palindrome today? I just noticed all the fours in today's date. 4142024, and it's 104. And I just looked up, and it was 4 minutes and 44 seconds since I started going live. Wow. Holy fours. I'm looking for any other fours. Wow. Okay. So this crystal was to be held by many. I handed it to this particular individual, and when they were done, I could feel that they were done. I went up to him to just be ready for when he wanted to give it back so I can hand it to the next. And when he opened his hands, a big bloom of smoke, beautiful white smoke, it came out of his hands. It looked like two puffs, and the crystal was in his hand, and it was cloudy. The crystal was clear. That was so cool. It was so cool. So that became a very activated crystal. I'm wow. Right during that whole eclipse, and wow. Okay, so I talked on for a while. Let's hi Kylie. Good to see you, sweet sister. Colleen, hello. Hi Pamela. Nice to see you again. It's been a while. Love you. Love you. Thank you so much. It was really fun to interact with. I mess up with. I know a few people that are named Colleen, and I'm not sure if you're the one. Are you the one from Utah? Will you please tell me? Mariette says, my body is hurting since the equinox, especially my lower back and my intestines. So this area is an area, the lower, okay, so specifically the root chakra and the sacral chakra are areas right now that are being healed for a lot of people, particularly, and this isn't ageism, it's just useful to understand. I'm very aware of ageism. That's the only reason why I said that. I've never heard anyone else say that to me. But anyway, there's the 3 waves of volunteers, and this is Dolores Cannon's way of understanding, like when we've come in, the order that we first wave, second wave, and there's more than 3 waves. I would say the flood's probably right after the wave, the last wave or something like that. However, the first waivers are having. I've been talking to more people with this particular issue in this age group in the first waiver area. So I don't know how old you are. I can tell you what this is. This has to do with we have long over invested in these lower chakras. These lower does not mean lower. It does not mean below. It simply is the order in which they are in. And this is also just as important as the first and second steps of a stairway, as we first need to be able to walk upon them. And also when we're going back down, we need them again. So remember, we're not talking about this not being a very useful thing. However, we're finding an overinvestment in these 2 chakras in particular. And especially if we're manifesting a lot when you're using our root chakra instead of our heart chakra, and being in a place of appreciation in our heart, we tend to draw in manifestation through our root chakra, and that's often why it's delayed or it's distorted. It's not quite what we were thinking we were manifesting. A lot of things. This is the place of security. This is the place of feeling safe. And a lot of people, especially first waivers, and all of us, came into density where we didn't feel safe for a very long time. And so this was our initial neural pathways, the little roads that we make in our brains that we can reroute, we can rewire, we can create guidance, allow for guidance to usher these energies to new pathways. And it's actually quite exciting when we do it. So anyway, this particular area has been long an issue also lately, especially over the past, I would say 2 years, though specifically this past full 12 months or so, maybe 14, purging. And so the intestinal stuff, excuse me, I'm going to have a quick drink of orange juice here. Excuse me. And so this is also part of this, the purging of these toxins, remembering also that we have we were the egg that we became, the baby that we became. We were completely the egg in our mother's womb when she was in her mother's womb, your grandmother's womb. And so we have toxins from very many, many years. Not to mention the fact that the cycle continues. These things are stored in our fat, and this is where the baby draws from. So we could have many, many, many generations beyond that of toxins that we're letting guiding out of our system. So just I lingered on that one for a bit. Thank you for your comment. This is really a widely reported one, particularly during the equinox. Yes. Um, and the equatorial experience that we had, it being so close to Easter, and how it was in the the corridor of the eclipses, and whoo, shenanigans. There was a lot. By the way, before I forget, I'll move on to the next question in just a moment. I want to remind everybody, because you may not know, pardon me, a lot of throat chakra for me. We got a lot of this uh throat, higher heart, and heart system. There's three chakras in the heart system, that's being activated for a lot of other people, or simultaneously to this lower chakral area. I wanted to mention that we have three large CMEs. Hey, it's 1:11 p.m. Three large CMEs making impact tonight / tomorrow morning, for the northern hemisphere of this planet, and they're really probably already making some kind of effect. A lot of us are going to have some heightened experience. Hey, I cannot look up and not. I just looked up there. It is 1:11, and I've been on for 11 minutes 11 seconds. That's really fun. I do want to show you the Schumann. The Schumann's been spiking really big, so now it looks like we're having a blackout. Of course. So I don't know how well I'm going to be able to let you see that. Oh, darn. I was really hoping that it would come through. Anyway, so if you can see here, this white stuff that looks white, this is really serious activity. And you see here it blacked out. This has been going on for a long time, hours and hours and hours. The Schumann resonance it's all the chakras. It's affecting, connecting, and engaging all the chakras. And so I'm personally having a whole body experience. So it's kind of cool. I'm saying a lot. Anyway, I need to find another pickup word. So, and we're also getting those three CMEs. They're probably, most of us already are feeling them, though the impact is intended or expected tonight or tomorrow. I don't know how often I say I just noticed it. I don't listen to myself when I talk. I'm too busy because I'm also getting channeling like all the time. There's a little bit coming in all the time, and so I don't pay attention to my words. The eclipse opened my senses, have been so much clearer. Love the word appreciation. Love you, Jeanette. Yeah, this is really cool. And I'm really happy to hear this. Most of us had a full on activation. I posted a video of totality my daughter took. I felt strongly inclined to not be focusing on looking at it with the phone and all this stuff. And I was very deep into meditation. So I let my daughter have the phone, and she recorded something. It was really funny. I remember commenting that I just felt like so almost sedated, euphoric, my entire body. And I still am feeling this way, where it's just like, I feel like just, I don't know, otherworldly floaty. I've been commenting quite a while now. I still don't feel real. Because I believe that that's the only way I've known how to explain it. And I believe that I'm trying to say, I think, is that perhaps it's the sensation of absence of discomfort, even in the eye of what would be considered disturbance. It's kind of, other than the chickens, the rooster's really gotten aggressive, and it's frustrating because it only attacks me when no one else is looking. But I mean, I'm learning to really not like chickens. Those poor guys, they weren't chickens like that a couple of years ago. I'm sure we did that to them, and bless their hearts, man. Hello, SS. Hello, Pamela and everyone. Both of my knees are hurting bad today in left hand pain. Anyone experiencing this, have a beautiful day. Yeah, so left hand for me as well. That's really cool that you said that. Left hand is the receiver. Left hand is the divine feminine hand. This is also the hand that I find to be the strongest. This is the hand that Jesus uses. This is the hand that Mother Mary and also Archangel Michael uses. This is also the hand that most of the beings that come to us, they hold up to show, to give their name basically, and like, this is my frequency, check me out, kind of come hang out. This is, so this activation of this particular hand is really beautiful, and I've been noticing it too, particularly around my thumb area. um like, I guess I remember they call that the snuff box. I think that's because people used to put stuff there and like inhale it or something. But this area of my hand has really been, and just the whole thing down the palm. I noticed my wrist on this hand was kind of acting up a bit there. So just a lot. Oh, hello, vegan vixen. Oh, before I move on, knees. There's a lot of this. I've been noticing for a really long time, a lot of this knee stuff, and everyone has their activation and how they do. For me, when the knee stuff started coming in, it was every time it did, it was to remind me that I was bending my will. I was giving up my power. It was a reminder for me because of my symbolism of this, of like, of bowing to someone. And so I feel like everybody has a different thing. Like sometimes when I have back activations, there's been times where what I'm healing is betrayal energy, being stabbed in the back. And so this is just how my body translates to communicate with me. Everyone's different. Um, it would be useful to find out which knee is the most pronounced, because divine masculine is the right side, divine feminine is the left side. And so if you can know what side it's coming from, you can also know, what's asking to be addressed. um, all of the things that we're doing right now, all of it, we're healing, we're resolving trauma. That's what we're doing in mass. And so some of us will find that some of these things that are coming through have nothing to do with your family line or anything. Now, once we start to do so much ancestral healing and have completed so much of it, that now we are working on what you would call Akashic, I suppose. We are reaching up and pulling in more work, and more things to do. Work isn't the right word because it's actually play when it's your job. Again, a word that we have a weird resonance for, that word job. But this thing that we enjoy doing, that we do well, that becomes something that everyone knows that it's something you will do because it's something that you do and love to do without even noticing that we're doing it most of the time. So anyway, I rambled on again. I'm not even sure what I just said. Sometimes these channeling things that come through are it's funny how they do. Fatigue, and I don't like sunlight, can't stay awake. Okay, so this is interesting, Deb. So fatigue, I can definitely resonate with the fatigue until, I don't know. The past few days have been different. I've been strangely alert. It's I didn't realize I wasn't until I became, for me. However, the sunlight thing, I've been noticing for on and off for a while, though many of us noticed that the sun's a lot brighter. It's a lot brighter than it's been lately, especially. And you know, at the time, I had thought previously that it was due to solar flares. Though when the sun started to grow in its brightness, there was no activity going on. Well, there was some activity, but there weren't solar flares. There's this thing going on that didn't hasn't happened since 2012, and it's happening again. It started happening on the sun right before the eclipse, and it looks like two little, I don't know, tentacles, shadow coming down. And in 2012, it was at like, what is that? Like 7 o'clock, just past 7 o'clock. And on the sun, these two little tentacles or tendrils or something of shadow turning into a large ball. And again, this was on the left side. And then, um, and then now it's happening on the right side. Same thing is happening exactly opposite. Sorry, I had to think about it. It's like 4 o'clock or so on the other side. And that ball isn't quite as large as the other one was before it left. Back in 2012, there was suspicion that it was some kind of vessel that was sucking something off of the sun. And there was a lot of hype because it was 2012 and it was, this thing, oh no, December's almost here, and kind of thing. And so, however, Isn't that fascinating that it's never been recorded, this thing, until 2012, and never since until like an hour or two, I can't recall, before the eclipse began, like where it first started to cross over and just barely make a shadow. So that's really cool. Okay, Colleen, I didn't want to out you. Yes, she was here, and thank you so much for sending her. Um, I'm very aware of privacy, and so I find myself being like, oh wait, no. So thank you for saying that. Yes, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for all of your support. It's been really awesome to see you pop up here and there, and I really, really appreciate it. Um, Light across the universe. I had a gut ER visit around eclipse and discover of another stomach ulcer, a weird sharp tingle on my spine between the shoulders to neck. Not the ultimate major chakra area, but different. Interesting. So I do know that a lot of us have been, and I'm sorry to hear about your ulcer issues. I know there's a lot going on with this stomach thing for a lot of people. And it's not stomach specifically, it's got to do with the solar plexus and usually the esophageal or the esophagus area. Um, and this is something that has to do with holding down your truth and in now or in previous lifetimes or in earlier part of this life often. That's what the whole QHHT thing is about. Dolores Cannon. Um, we I've never done it. Okay. I just really enjoy the science of it and I resonate with it. And it's not because I didn't want to. Spirit just kept stopping me because it wasn't something that was going to help me in my soul mission at that time. However, what the concept of it is that we find out what physical malady that we're having now is trying to tell us, and it's usually got to do with something in this lifetime or often a previous lifetime. And that's why I bring this up, and with the stomach and the solar plexus and all this stuff. So and the shoulder thing where you're talking about, I'm finding this to be an activation. It's kind of like a triangle. Are you talking about it like, so this would be like my neck, and then this would be kind of, and then it just goes down and it makes this whole thing and then through? If that's what you're talking about, um, a lot of us have been having this for quite some time, on and off. We've felt into it, and it has to do with energetic wings. I know it sounds silly to say it out loud. I still struggle to say it out loud, and I'll say anything, but it just sounds so silly to say. We have some type of energy wings, and whether or not it's something that can make you fly. A bumblebee's wings don't make it fly. It vibrates in its heart chakra. The heart chakra vibrates and it creates flight. The wings only keep it from spinning and make it able to steer, essentially. And so I'm not suggesting you can fly. I am suggesting that we have energetic wings. Whether it's from a past incarnation that just kind of, they talk about having amputees talk about still feeling or itching an appendage or a leg or something that's gone, kind of thing. I don't know. I can tell you that when we direct the energy and let it flow out like it is wings, it resolves the issue. It's very calming and relaxing and grounding and activating in a lot of ways. So, oh, hello, Anne. So wonderful to see you live. Sending so much love. Thank you. It's good to see you. Yeah, definitely safety is being addressed. There's a lot of safety stuff. A lot of us understanding we are safe, that we are abundant, that we're financially secure, as well as, secure in our safety, we're leaving the age of suspicion and into the pink frequency. We are now in the pink frequency in many ways. It's kind of like, looks a bit like reverse rain, and so we're pulling it up or down from, I don't know how to say it. And so as we slowly reach higher and higher into this love frequency, this pink frequency, the age of suspicion leaves because people stop caring about people knowing who they are. And when we stop caring, when it doesn't matter, when you realize it doesn't affect anything if someone finds out that you fart. You know what? We're human. Everybody farts. And it usually doesn't smell good. The point is the desire to hold up perfection, filters, concealing, posturing, masks. It creates suspicion of the other, and so on and so forth. As we move this and liberate ourselves, being the captor as well as the prisoner, we find that we're able to reach these higher frequencies, these pink frequencies of light. And so this is found, and safety is too. So a lot of what we'll be using with the root chakra in the coming years, decades, and so on will be more of a stabilization than actually reliance as it has been in the more recent years. I was talking about the high frequencies with my girlfriend, and she couldn't understand what it was even when I explained it. This does happen, and it can feel discouraging. I mean, everybody's waking up in their own way. And when we think, oh, this is the first step I took, so it's the step to take, it's not always correct, being that everyone's step is different. And everyone's path to the peak of the mountain is a different path. Though, if you pull far enough back, you can see that every path leads to the peak, and everyone needs their own journey. So I would, I enjoy these conversations, even with people who don't hear it. I feel like that over a time, there's more and more heard in an echo way later on when moments happen in life. I've had those. Been a couple of things that have happened probably the past year or so where there's one person in particular in a really earlier period of my life. I just thought she needed medication. I really did, though I was a social worker, and that was my job. I'm couldn't believe what I had done once I pulled away and realized I was medicating all those people. Anyway, um, she's still activating me. All of these years later, I think about her. Her name was Joyce, and I hope she's still around. So just don't give up. Just be you. Sherry, ooh, I felt you. Was thinking how missed you. Much love. Thank you. Yeah, I'm it's kind of fun. It's like I'm back. I feel different. I feel different. And all of us do. All of us know who we're leaving behind more than who we are, you know? And so there's this um just kind of figuring it out as we go. Yeah, I mean, all of us are, Oh, by the way, I am taking sessions again. I had taken a break from all like correspondence and all this kind of stuff due to this party. So I'm really behind, and I apologize to all of you that have and anticipated a response. So I'll get around to it. I hope. Uh, there's just so much going on. Hi Janet. I found that my deep attachments to so many old dreams, people, things have been holding back big burn off of the old. Awesome. Yeah, man, the dreams have been weird lately, huh, guys? Wow. Lots of stuff coming through in that way lately. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and we're leaving, this is what I was talking about. We're leaving behind a lot of things. We're choosing to say goodbye, or not even to say goodbye anymore. It's more of like, why did I think that? Why was that in my life? I don't actually know. I don't really know why I did. And so it's, there's not even a need for a goodbye. There's just an agreement, just like, yeah, like a nod or a shrug kind of thing. Eyes, thank you, Deb. My eyes are dry, sticky, and I want to keep them closed. Yeah, okay, so I'm not having the dry eye thing, but sticky. I know what you're talking about. I've been having it, my daughter too. It's really weird. Oh, it's just so strange because I had to readjust. It's like I feel like I'm weeping like without an emotion, just but it switches from one eye to the other. That's more pronounced. It's really weird. I kind of want to keep my eyes closed too. The past couple of days, when I've had time to just do whatever I wanted, I really just wanted to lay down. I just wanted to lay down. I don't tend to actually sleep anymore when I do that. I'm just laying there with my eyes closed, and so much is coming through. Like I always did this before, but this is different than what I'm talking about. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, we got some stuff happening, guys. It's really cool. It's a wonderful place to be, time to be, you know? I mean, think about how many of us throughout our earlier lives were so sad and so deep in our chronic depressions and desperations that we had truly tried to leave. Had truly tried to leave this life early and were told no. When people die on accident all the time is how I used to think, and I see why now. I see why we were supposed to be here. We're holding the frequency, guys. You're doing this. It's not being done for us. You're doing this. You're holding the frequency. You're holding the love. You're pulling in, calling in like magnets the frequencies from above that are coming. As Elsa says, we're calling these comets to us. We're calling these to this now moment. You're doing it. And so thank you. Thank you. RANB, eclipse, strange day in a way. I've been hearing conversations like, I was somewhere else at the same time. Yes, me too. Man, I actually had, and I'm just going to say it, I had starting at the top of my head, the very, very tippy top of my head, and it moved down, down. I had a body orgasm that started at the top of my head. And it went all the way down, and I felt it. And I was in the moment of it was so pronounced that there were people in conversation around me, and I just kind of started to talk really loudly and be like, guys, do this, try it. Oh my goodness. And then I went somewhere. I know what you're talking about. Somewhere I went away from a time. And so I was all places. I was everywhere at the same exact moment. And I've kind of stayed that way a little bit. Most of us have. And it's kind of hard to try to fully articulate it because the way that we are, what we're feeling, how the world is it still feels like we're kind of waiting to hear someone else say it. That the world has changed and you're here. We are in the pink frequency. We are here. And the CMEs that are coming tonight that are scheduled, I guess, estimated to impact this planet tonight into tomorrow. Remember, it doesn't matter if the sun is up or not for whether or not you get the CME impact. The CME impact is happening right in, of course, the Gulf of Mexico this time. The impact is in the Gulf of Mexico, guys. This is Mayan, Toltec. This is the weep. This is the crying. This is it. It's happening. And also, these CMEs left the sun days ago before they're going to be making impact, or quite a long time ago. So our planet continues to rotate. And as it continues to rotate, it doesn't have to be Earth or sun facing, or whatever. It's just how it works. So anyway, it's hitting the Gulf of Mexico. The Mayan, the Toltec stuff is being weeped out. And so I'm really excited for this. And for anyone who can check out the Schumann resonance, you'll see like the past, I don't even know, 12 hours, we've been in all we're connecting to all of our different chakras. Hi, Sherry. Good to see you. So nice to catch you. I am sparkling. Oh, cool. Am I? I'm all sparkly. I feel sparkly. I feel like a different person. It's really weird. So weird. I haven't felt that I was on the same reel as barely anyone in collective. They'll have this very special tribe. Yeah, yeah. Like it's different. It's like, and before it seemed almost as if I was invested in other people's opinions due to thinking that it was being polite, and I didn't realize I was doing it. It was a backdoor holding in my truth kind of thing. And so I've I don't have to participate is what I'm saying. Whether or not someone engages, I don't have to care. Care sounds like a harsh word. That's just blunt to say that I'm not invested. You can't make someone happy. We can't make someone mad. We can't make someone displeased. You don't make anybody anything. And when we start to invest in that and believe that, then we care. Then we overinvest in someone else's opinion, and their opinion isn't real for you. It's a whole different vantage point. It's a different perspective with different everything, colored with yesterday's memories and tomorrow's hopes. So there's a whole different lens being used, a whole different experience base. It doesn't have anything to do with you. You've been presented in a person's life if they're in a unhappy place in some way or whatever. You're put in their life only to assist them, to activate them. Activations also feel like triggers, so there's a lot of triggering going on for people right now, I feel like. So, and we don't have to participate. you know That's just how it works. When we awaken, when we start to figure some of this stuff out, it's kind of a panic time, and we all do that. So just back away if you can, in some way, and uninvest. I found that it's useful to say, I understand why you think that, to an individual, so they understand they're validated and heard, though I don't share that, you know Amanda, hello. My job asked me to come in today because I am always off weekends. And I said yes, but my body says no, and I have been purging since 2 a.m. Oh, I love you, sister. You got you, yeah, I understand. It tends to be that way when we extend ourselves, then our body takes that time as a useful activation. It's good to do different things. It is really good when we allow for shifting, for changing, things come through. Hi, Shannon. So good to see you. I need to respond to you. I'm sorry I haven't done that. I turned off my phone and then I turned it back on and I saw a bunch of messages. I will respond. Good to see you. My left side, says Sherry, my left hand rather, between index and second finger swollen for weeks. Left, there we go. That's the left hand again. For those of you who missed the earlier conversation, left hand, a lot of stuff going on with left hand. Well, there's a lot of comments that I haven't. I'm going to try to. Kylie says, I literally feel the same way, buddy. Oh, I think you're talking to someone in particular. So I'm gonna. Hello, Miss T's time. Feeling so tired and unmotivated. My gums have been aching. Let's talk about that in a second. Very uncomfortable. Anyone else? So, yes. I got last month, I finally asked. I'm like, what is the deal? Because like I'm usually a doer. That's kind of like what I am. Always that's always been. If someone drops a ball, I grab it and run with it. Like that's just how I've been. And now I'm not. And I asked and they said, this is the year of inaction. And I was like, well, that's kind of a okay. And so there's not been a lot of drive for action in the outward way. However, this is a result of the activation of the pure divine masculine. There was a little bit of distortion in the divine masculine being this over action, this overemphasis on outward action rather, and this now time of inner action, inner movement, where we're doing inner work in a more okay way. We're being guided to not go get distracted. You know, you were being guided. Like, how many times have we been like, oh, I really don't like having my phone with me. Well, turn it off. I have been. I have been. Turn it on airplane mode if you really need the alarm. But I put it in a different room than you're in. I only went and got my phone so I could show you guys the Schumann, and it's not even showing up. I'm going to try it again, though, because this Schumann spike that we're having is, wow, it's so cool. So anyway, this inaction that I was talking about is something that a lot of us, whoa, it's spiking really big now. Can I make it so you can see it better? Maybe if I do it this way, if I put it right in front and then, okay. Oh my goodness. Darn it. Well, if you can zoom, look right here. Look right there. See that bar? That would be blue normally. This is right now. It's a really big spike. You can see it down the list. If you can even see it. This is an app that I paid 99 cents for in the Android place. It's just the Schumann resonance. And it's been really great to have because I can have it real time. I also do the News Italia one that you see a lot of posts that I previously put screenshots of from. That one doesn't feel like it's real. It's not real time. Like, I'll notice stuff that's happening on this one that isn't shown up yet in the other one. We're in that right now. We're likely already starting to get those CMEs. We have 3 CMEs. They're large, M flares, as well as there's some other thing that occurred on the sun that I don't fully understand. I just know that there are a lot of beings, sun beings coming, energies, consciousnesses, entities. I'm trying to explain. So I'm not saying beams like a sun ray, a sunbeam. It's like a person. Sun beings are coming in a lot more. Like the past conversations since I've been live, I've been feeling them a lot, and they're really fun. They're really playful. They're like, wow, that's so cool. What are you doing? Wow, that's so weird that you do that. I wouldn't know how to. It's not weird like judgment. It's like they want to learn, and they're just happy to be here. Like, they're just happy to be here. Um, anyway, the gums, before I forget, I almost clicked you away. Click to the next question. Miss T's Time says that she's also got this gum aching thing. Okay, for me, when I get what I call a headache in my gums, we're usually getting pretty big solar flares. That's usually how it goes. And I've discovered that salt solves it. It solves the problem. Whether it's a little bit of salt in a little bit of water and drink that, or, rinsing with it and then drinking some of it. Also, like putting salt under your tongue and drinking that water. I'm finding the salt is something that our mouths are needing right now. Some people are, I was talking with this group a little while ago, and someone mentioned brushing their teeth with salt. Just sprinkle a little bit of salt on their wet toothbrush, and that's how they brush their teeth. And I still haven't thought to bring salt into the bathroom when I'm doing. By the time I'm brushing my teeth, I'm going to bed, so, or whatever, I'm running and getting ready to go somewhere. So, but this is something that I think I'll try. This is something that a lot of people are having too, by the way. So, stomach pain, a lot of stomach discomfort. I've been noticing some purging, some issues for me, as well as a lot of people, waking beauty and this purging with this lower GI kind of stuff. Earlier we were talking to someone who was having a lot of um uh root and sacral chakra stuff going on just in this area. There's a lot of us having this, particularly individuals who are still teaching themselves or reminding themselves that they're safe. Overemphasis on root chakra, 1:44 right now. Hey, and it's okay. It's 1:44 p.m. and the date is 41424. I think it's really fun. Anyway, I know I get excited about numbers. So this is really common. Allowing yourself to purge it, allowing your body to release it is the best thing we can do. Lots of water, and if you need to, stay close to the bathroom for a while. Hello from Florida, says Elaine. Hello, Elaine. Good to see you. Welcome. Shannon says, I was taken down to my left knee first thing Saturday morning. Reminder to slow way down. All right. Here's a really good another example of what kind of activations and messages our body sends to us. I was just looking and it was 4444 when I looked at that. Um, and just then a hummingbird out the window. Um, this is really good to remember. Our body's also talking to us about these types of things. The animals that come to us talk to us if we listen to them, if we understand that they're trying to speak to us. It's not always as obvious as we think it is. Sometimes it's looking it up in what totem, what spiritual. Sometimes it's called a spirit animal. Or if you search the name of an animal and totem, you'll always get a really awesome response. Usually pretty accurate. Oh, I didn't click on this one. Vegan Vixen, so detached from everything. When I was dropping off the other night, my eyeballs were moving before I opened my eyes, almost like an earthquake in my head. What the F was that? Dude. Okay, yeah. So, first, let's address I'm very much feeling this detached from everything and also connected in a different way. It's weird. The more that we're uninvested, the more we become, it feels like, invested in a different way. Realizing more and more that we are that other, that the other doesn't exist. And it's really, it's kind of a paradox. Hey, 111 people here right now. So I get what you're saying. I always get the first initial like feeling of detach from everyone and everything right before some a big activation occurs. And usually it's meant as a respite. Another way of saying it, because visually I see what's occurring, that spirit calls it respite, is it's as if you have a lot of tethers or cords. We have cords in communication with others, right? And it's as if someone comes and like knocks all of the cords off of us for our help, our benefit, you know, like the barnacles that all attach to, the whale in the ocean. They eventually they need to be all cleaned off. And so then we reestablish new ones. When we first remove this way, it does feel very uncomfortable. It's eerie. It's like all of a sudden all the animals stop talking, the forest kind of a feeling. You're like, is there what is that? That kind of feels like that a little bit for me at first because I'm so used to working on the energies not being too invasive, and so I get what you're saying, I think. And then also this rapid eye movement you're talking about, we're starting to find more and more that we're asleep while we're conscious. I know that it's very strange. And when you do this, it's a different type of lucid dreaming because you're actually you observe yourself as if you're laying in your body and you're asleep. If you listen, you'll notice you can hear the deep breath of a sleeping breath of your own. You're hearing your own breath. And it's really bizarre. And then you start to observe the weight of your body because you're deeply asleep. So you notice that you're actually really like almost like you're glued in some way to the bed. But you're not. It's not like one of those paralysis things. It's really cool. And then once I observe all of those senses, that's usually when I start being in direct contact with my higher self, with guides, with um with all kinds of different energies because I'm far enough away from my ego, or logic is another way of wording that conversation can be had. It's really cool. So I'm just gonna jump because I've noticed I have a lot of comments that I haven't. Um, Sherry says your memories pulled her in. When we remember it, it recreates that energy. I wonder what's that. What that? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. I was wondering. I'm trying to think of what that because I had said that quite some time ago. I heard pulling through. That's really cool. Thank you, Sherry. I see that you're on Facebook and YouTube, so I'm trying to put your message together. Yeah, I've been pulling her through a lot lately. This woman who activated me quite some time ago. I just didn't know it at the time. a lot of what she has shown me and had talked to me about and has had conversation with me about over the years was quite some time ago, that back then I had dismissed, um, because I did not invest in story and in particular what we call conspiracy theories. Oh my goodness. The day that I found that unclassified document regarding the that whole thing and the invention or the now used word conspiracy theorist in order to ostracize individuals and all this stuff from 1946, that really kind of opened my eyes, a lot. I've been having a lot of, we all awaken throughout, um, time, and there's many different awakenings, and some of the things that we are awakened to were were planted were from a much earlier time. So it's really fascinating. Yeah. Thank you for bringing her up again, because I just love her. Brooke, it's good to see you, sweetie. I would like a session with you, but do not know where to send the money or how to contact. Awesome. That would be really cool, Brooke. Um, so in the description of this video, you can find that the link to my scheduling site is in the description. So you can click on that. It says something like, would you like a session with me? And that there it'll take you to a schedule. You can pick a time and day, and my PayPal link is in the description of this video as well. And also on that website, you can see that it tells you what my PayPal is. So I would love to meet with you, Brooke. That would be really cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Yolanda Marie, I love you. Yolanda Marie and Guardian, I think, are going to be joining me again in the near future. I'm not going to say the date that we had said because I want to be sure, but I'm pretty sure that we're going to be doing it not next Wednesday, but coming after that or something like that. So I'll keep you posted on that. Hi, Colin. Hi, Mila. Thanks again for the event. It was a total success. Ha! It is it just me, or is density in the joints, balls of feet, ankles, knees, ball joints of hips and shoulders, etc., becoming more manifest? Yeah. Yeah, I actually have been getting a lot of these types of messages. That's probably the top 4 complaints or concerns ascension symptom wise right now. um, and I see it as always, I've seen it this way. I can, as we clear stuff, there's energy that gets sent through that's kind of like in us that doesn't really need to be there anymore. And it's kind of like when you move the energy through you, it's kind of like water going through a pipe or many pipes, right? And if there's residue or things inside those pipes, that eventually it flushes it out and then it can go. Well, it always gets kind of just like in pipes, interesting enough. So I'm thankful for that idea for the example. And so the energy often kind of gets a little bit caught in the joints, in the turns, in the corners. And so this is just, it doesn't mean that it's going to stay there. That's just where it's feeling pronounced. It almost feels a little bit like inside needs to pop, or like a zit sort of. And that is kind of what's occurring. So all that what is guided to do is that when you're in meditation, to bring that, while you're bringing the light of God in, create an orb of light around the different joints or areas that are struggling, and then it'll actually relieve a lot of the density. It guides it out. It's kind of like using the Drano or something, it just like just blasts it out and helps it move. So this is something that's really useful. So thank you for bringing that up, Colin. Yeah, it is a sign. That's really, yeah, it's on its way. It's moving. That's really cool. He says, I hope it's a sign that it's getting ready to leave. It is. It's actually moving. And so it's just getting caught up. Thank you for your question. This is happening for a lot of people. So it's really good to have this conversation. Me too. My eyes. Oh, I should click it. Alexandra, Me too. My eyes are really teary and itchy. It's weird. And it's like this goo. It's this goo. The last time that I had an activation similar to this was when we started to get some stuff coming through for our sight. We were able to like perceive with our eyes, with our physical eyes, things we couldn't see before. Um, I went through a period of where I things looked blurry. I thought I couldn't make things out, so I went to the eye doctor, and they're like, "Wow." I used to have stigmatism, and I think that's what it's called. I'm stuck in stigmata. Did I say it wrong? Anyway, um, and it resolved itself over time. And so since then, I haven't needed glasses. However, I'm finding that I was finding that my eyes weren't working the way I wanted them to, and then the doctor was like, "Your eyes are better than they ever were." Then I found that these things that were blurry were starting to come into view, and the things that were blurry were things I hadn't seen before. They're higher frequency things. There are small, slight differences in the world around us, in our even in the structures around us, and those differences are some of them are higher frequency, high enough frequency that we don't know to notice them. So it's really fascinating. Okay, we have a question here. I saw um question from Debbie. Hello, Debbie. Question from 2020. Until about 8 months ago, I was able to fast like a champ, and I was 110 pounds. Now I'm hungry all the time and have gained about 13 pounds. Was my body in a purging phase? Yeah, I would say so. We go through back and forth this way. I would say that it's more typical to have a shifting body weight, and because it's so typical, I think that's why they being, individuals who would like for us to be in a place of shame and stuff like that, been focusing on making people feel bad about it when this occurs. That our shifting weight, our different body shapes are just a, a turn of the tide of what's needed at those times. And yes, so for me, I went through a lot more fasting than I've been doing for a while there, and I lost quite a bit of weight, and then it started to come back, blah blah blah, and I would say now that I've done it enough times where I've been paying attention, because I've been having conversations about it, I've been aware of it, really thinking, no, I notice patterns that this always occurs during and after, as well as before activations, different types of activations. The one that we're getting right now is we're getting more activated by the sun now. And so as we move into the sun, we'll find that if we don't have enough fat content, and as they call it water, in our body, through our bodies, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to accept the plasma. It's called plasma that's coming through our bodies and activating us, bringing out of dormancy that which has been silent. These different skills, abilities, gifts they could be called, that are coming through right now have always been there. All parts of this puzzle has been present. It's simply that it had no way to put itself together. And now that we're getting these activations by the sun, as this plasma is moving through you, it's guiding those puzzle pieces to then connect and then come back online to be where they're able to be accessed. This is more efficiently done when your body contains more water. This is why so many of us are being drawn to drink so much more fluid, so much more water. I found this weird opposite thing with water lately, though. But wow, that was really channeled. It's still coming in, but I'm just noticing in my own body. I've been drinking a lot less water. I've been noticing that the side effects of it. My lips have been awful, chapped and stuff. Um, and there is an activation coming. This activation that's coming tonight as well as in the coming days. Um, so this Saturday is also a palindrome day. This Saturday, there's also a lot of energy coming. So a week from yesterday, we're going to have some more stuff coming in. There's a When you notice that the calendar is read the same forward and backward, this is called a palindrome. So it's different for different people depending on where you live on the planet. Some places they say the day of the month, then the month. And here we say the month, then the day, and then the year. So these palindrome days are succinct for the location that they're in as well. Keeping that in mind, we are going to be getting more coming through. If you can, at least be near to bodies of water, bathtubs, foot soaks, rivers, any place, paddling pool, I don't know. Anything will be helpful right now. I'm finding that as we reach higher into these, higher is not the right word. I don't know a better one that will describe it for you all to understand. But the word higher isn't meant to be used. However, as we reach these frequencies that are the pink frequencies, we find that we require, we're more able to access the information coming into you through the water. The water has memory. Your body contains this memory. Your body is mostly water. Also, too, we often don't realize that when we speak to ourselves, we are changing the molecular coding of our water in our bodies. 70 to 80% of your body is this water. And so speaking kindly to this water elevates you. It's actually science, psychological, the self-help books, these self-affirmation type things. They're guiding you to follow Dr. Emoto by saying kind things rather than unkind things, because your water can hear you and it responds. To hold this higher frequency requires self-love. And if self-love isn't easily accessible, then acts of love and words of love is the beginning point to slowly guide you there. There's something that we call forgiveness that isn't real. It isn't needed. It isn't something that we truly need to connect with. However, this is how we uncast this spell. This is how we create bliss. And that is saying, I forgive you to yourself. Doing self-forgiveness meditations, going into places, those cringe moments, all of those things that pop up come to you so you can say those things. You can release the energy that's affecting you in an unpleasant way. So keeping this in mind, allowing yourself to use this skill with this water. As we speak kindly to it, it speaks back. The water speaking back and reminding you of who you are and why you are and where you actually are. It's really cool. Oh, by the way, I got these cool, really awesome earrings at this amazing crystal mine in Ida. I think it's called Ida. I wish I could remember the woman's name right now, but she was really cool. Anyway, I got distracted by the lawnmower outside. Trina, hi. Hey, Trina, I'm wearing your shirt. Painful knees, yes. Lots of shakes, energies for days now. Teeth, gum pain. I'm feeling it. Dude, we're in it to win it. Woo. Yeah, there's a lot happening. I would say that the mouth thing is what's the most annoying to me. And also like this prickly on your tongue sensation. It feels like your tongue, I don't know. It's a weird. Does anybody else have this tongue thing going on? Because it's been going on with me for a little bit. And so, yeah, I just don't really know. Brooke says, Kate is here too. Wait, here she is. You wondered, oh, I see. You linked her. You wondered where she was, and so did I. I love her. I love you. Thank you for linking Kate Arena. I love Kate. I love that I have people in my earlier life that are on this awakening journey too. It's crazy when we think about how far we've come, how many roads we've taken to lead us to this now moment, to do what we're doing right now at this moment. Yeah. Schumann is 72 right now. Thank you for telling me, Sherry. I didn't actually look at the Today, a power range 50 to 25 amp. I actually want to check this and show you all. Even though I know I did it earlier and it didn't really come up very well, I still, yeah, it's still spiking, guys. Okay, maybe if I take a screenshot and then I could like isolate it so it doesn't like blur it out so much, maybe. Let's try that. So you can see what's happening at this right now moment. It's really cool. The kind of spikes that we're getting. Okay, let's try to do it. Okay, I saw it come up for a second. This is really, okay, there you go. Look, see this right here where it's filling the entire chart? That right there? And this whole thing right here before the blackout, we had a time shift there and closing timeline thing. But look at this, and now we're here. It just went bam. And that started right as I was going live, too. So it's really cool. So all of that energy, all of that is the energy of the planet, and its impact point is the Gulf of Mexico. We're talking about all of the tears that need to be cried out of Houston. We're talking about all of the Mayan. We're talking about all the Toltec. Where there's a lot of tears that are coming out. And so if you're near to this area and you're feeling some kind of like melancholy or sadness or anything like that, allow yourself to cry and know it's not you. It's not you. I'm feeling it a bit. Like it's weird. Like I'm joyful and energetic, and then there's this other thing happening over here that I feel too. It's very complicated. And then Sherry also says, I have a mixture of salt, baking soda, and clay that I use for my gums. Awesome. That's actually all those things. And I'm sure you use the high frequency clay and stuff. That's really cool. I've had a hawk close by lately, Lisa says. Hawks are the messengers. So they say that, due to its height, eagle is spirit. The great spirit is eagle. It flies up with spirit. It's the symbol of this. It stays up there for the most part, though. Hawk, however, can go to the heights of great spirit and then also come to the ground of the earth. And so, in many ways, this messenger bird is showing you how to bring heaven to earth. So that's really cool that you're getting this activation. I'm I'm not going to say it, though the name that I'm called translates to little hawk. And I think it's really fun because there's a lot of freaking hawks right now. There was during our one of our meditations right after it, I think there was like 9 hawks above our head circling. It was really cool. Shannon says, I also had a visit from a stink bug while you were talking about that fart. Yeah, that's fun. Echoing what we were saying. Trina says, chatted with a pair of bluebirds in my yard this morning. Awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, these animals are coming through and having conversations with us. They're telling us things. They're suggesting things as well, guiding us. They're bringing us forward into our truest selves, And as we do, we realize that we are ourselves a channel. You don't need an intermediary. Long have we been told by many different groups that an assigned bishop, rabbi, minister, priest, whatever you want to call it, somebody needs to tell you the truth. Somebody needs to be the one to convey the messages coming from God. And this isn't completely true. Perhaps some of the messages coming were for guiding you. However, you don't need someone outside of you. You don't need an intermediary. You are a channel. You have your own divine guidance. Knowing what that is and allowing yourself to trust that thing is probably the hardest part. Though most of us are realizing self-trust has only been absent due to those around us that have been naysayers for so many years. Privately and secretly saying that we're crazy and maybe not even hearing it with our actual ears, though sensing it and feeling that. And so it's kind of kept us in a place of slumber to these gifts. And as we've slowly been able to more and more trust those inner guidances and stopped being so concerned about other people's individual opinions, you will find that the frequency of the answer is already upon your lips, within your heart, that it's there, that we are connected to God. We really, truly are like appendages of God. It's really cool. Kylie says, feeling disconnected from this dimension, but still here, lightheaded, can't really remember things, laugh out loud. Yeah, I know. And it's hard to talk nowadays. Eyes hurt and want to be closed. Yeah, you got all of them. Tick, tick, tick. All of them. Funny I said tick instead of check, because I don't ever say that. That's like more of a Stacy thing. However, it has been a thing that's been coming up a lot. Dug in like a tick. Most of us had been dug in like a tick, and the visual they explain how we're waking up now, it's really like our heads have been the only thing that have been barred. There's been some type of something stopping us from seeing, having true sight, seeing what's really around us. And then instead of choosing to manifest what mainstream media is asking us to manifest, we start to learn we can actually choose to manifest what we want, and that it actually truly comes through. So this disconnected and lightheaded and also hard to remember stuff has really been my so far this year, like it's before I left Washington, which was I left Washington on November 1st on 111, and that has been a ongoing thing. I'm finding on and off, not to the point of discomfort. It's just it feels like my body has a sensation of more constant euphoria in some way regarding the lightheadedness, and the dimension that we're in isn't the dimension many are seeing is not the dimension that we are actually in. Let me say it that way. We are actually in the peak frequency, and it's just realizing where we are and coming to terms with it slowly and gradually so it can stick. All things in spirit are meant to be gradual, so they do have lasting longevity possibilities. You know what I mean? And so that's something that I've always noticed. And one time I asked that, and I can't remember the exact wording though, and it was Archangel Michael. It was just that all the things that are meant to be lasting are gradual. All things when they come in too quickly are abrupt, shocking, and also don't last. So it causes people discomfort, unneeded discomfort, and also it doesn't last. So why would you do that? Right? New senses, more sensitivity, intense for sure. Big adjustments, right, Janet? Yeah, yeah, a lot. Man, I'm sensing. I'm more aware of other people's energy than before, and what I mean by that is I'm more aware of and honoring myself of being like, I'm now going to excuse myself, and it doesn't have to be a thing. It's just, well, have a good day, and then removing my energy. It's just not something that I choose to keep in that frequency, So Vesper says, I can't stop eating either now after months of barely being able to eat. I want to gain some healthy weight though. Yeah, it's back and forth. I'm with you. I'm with you. It's really weird. I'm kind of slendering down a little bit again, and it's just back and forth. I don't know. I can tell you that when I'm finding myself in an unplanned fasting state, that's when I'm like, okay, let's look what's going to happen. Let's see what astrology says, or let's see what alignment's occurring, or what's that date, and always it's within 3 days or so. Sometimes I've noticed there's been a few where it's been the day before, and other times I've noticed that it's been 7 days where I'm being prepared. My body just naturally doesn't want to eat for a little while, and I honor my body. I'll drink water, I'll drink teas, I'll drink coffee, I'll drink juice when I feel like it. So it's not really complete fasting. It's just I'm not choosing to ingest the denser foods, meaning, something that you have to chew. And I'm finding that to go back and forth. It always does occur during that window. Some people, many people I've talked to have the reverse, where they find that all of a sudden they just got to eat. They just got the binge on, they just can't put enough in. And then there are people that I've done that too. And I remember I've been like, "What? Wait, we're getting ready to have an activation." Okay. And then you find out, oh, okay, that's just what my body's meant to do. Listening to our own bodies and knowing that your body really is truly, thank you. Sorry, I got distracted. I saw our bodies truly are telling you what is most useful at this time. It's communicating to you. And if we can follow the subtle nudges and guidances here and there, you'll notice that one ingredient resonates with your body on one day and then doesn't on another. And so it's just listening to your body for this particular moment. We're not, okay, from this point on, that's bad. Your body might want it later. I've done that with meat as well. I've been a vegan, I've been a vegetarian, I've been a full-on carnivore in this life. Like I'm back and forth. And it's just whatever my body's guiding me to do. And so if you can follow your own guidance, you will notice that there is a rhythm and a rhyme, that there is a pattern to be seen, that it is talking to you, instead of taking an antacid or and eating the thing anyway or whatever. I found I started to listen to my body, and more it was just preparing me for something. And Trina helped me out here. Thank you so much. B at Mount Ida. That's right. She was there with us when we went to the crystal mine. That was so cool. It was really awesome. And she is who made these earrings. And she's beautiful. It was so much fun to meet such high frequency people and just randomly like that. Like, I mean, at the party we had, of course, people like us are going to be together. Though we got to go just to a place, and this lady was there and she started talking about Ascension Symptoms. And there were two other people in her shop was this short school bus that she'd converted into a crystal shop that she made jewelry and stuff. And it was really cute because I looked over at the two that were in the shop with me, and they both, yeah, Ascension Symptoms are going up a lot more. This was like the day before the eclipse or something, I think. Anyway, and the look on her face, she had the same experience that we did. She was, wow, they know what I'm talking about. Because she was already getting ready to start to, like, she was going to introduce what an Ascension Symptom was to us. And I told her I had a YouTube channel. I hope that she found us, because it would be kind of comical for her to find out that Ascension Symptoms is typically what I focus on the most in talking. Yeah, Mount Ida is awesome. Light across the universe. I live somewhere near and mine quartz there. Yeah, that's awesome. Used to live somewhat near to there. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a really beautiful place. It's really cool. Her name was B. If you see B, tell her I said hi, and then I love her earrings. I also got her shirt. She's was selling the eclipse shirts too. Dark matter is leaving, Source Made. That's right. That's right. It really, really is. And you also commented some up here too. Light cycles activation codes can be intense until 24th and the 28th April. Yeah. The 24th is a big deal day on my calendar. I'm guided very much to the 20th, the 24th. And also today's a day. I knew today was a day, I just don't know what it is. I don't know where my notebooks got put. I'm still cleaning up and putting things away and figuring things out here after the party. So, but I had a notebook full of like astrological things that I don't actually know where it's at. So yeah, there's some other things happening though, and I'm really looking forward to finding out what they are. What I mean by that is I feel like it's going to be more and more over the top. Like it's going to be really, really cool. Like the stuff that we're having happen. Is a Schumann causing the fatigue? I would say the Schumann off when the Schumann spikes, as well as when we're getting solar flares, the way that I found to help it to be easier, like it's not as just uncomfortable, um, is to be in a place of rest. Like fatigue would encourage you to rest, to be in meditation, to even meditation like daydreaming kind of meditation where you're just chilling on the couch, laying in your bed, whatever. That this kind of resting and just letting whatever needs to cycle through, it feels like daydreaming when we're doing it sometimes, but it actually turns out to be we're healing in some higher way. So, what came first, the chicken or the egg kind of thing here? I would say the Schumann's asking us to listen. And the fact that it's activating the mind right now, and I'm living in a place, yeah, there's a lot happening with this Mayan stuff. This week has been, oh, let me click it. Janet says, this week has been huge grief release, many tears. Yeah. Yeah, I've been feeling it like it quakes my throat, but so far, it's really funny. I'm not resisting crying, but I'm finding the tears aren't really coming. Like I'll get misty eyed, which is different for me over the past couple of years. Like I'll just cry at the drop of a hat usually. That changed as soon as I left Washington. I found that like when I cry, it's just brief and it's not frequent as it was. Like I was crying with joy, crying with love, crying with da da da, and now I'm noticing that like you're talking about though, this is a different. It's the grief. Another aspect of this grief is something I've said before that's still occurring and maybe even more so now due to the quantity of individuals who are doing this now, grieving the old self, saying goodbye to the old dilapidated house as you're moving into a new one is important to do in some way. Honoring the self, allowing the self to grieve, to say goodbye to the old things. Yeah, that old dilapidated house wasn't that great for you. It didn't have all that, but the hole in the middle of the living room was there because, that was where your brother was working on the car and I don't know, the engine fell through. I'm not I'm not making up any literal story. Anyway, that there are aspects of this old dilapidated place that we may not resonate with, but we're so grateful to say goodbye. And we're so grateful to say goodbye. But part of us is saying, but this is all we've known. This is what we've always known for many lifetimes in several occasions, for many people rather. And so we're saying goodbye. And it's okay to let yourself feel sad. Just because it sucks doesn't mean you can't feel sad to say goodbye and let yourself say goodbye. So there's this grief too. There's other kinds of grief. Also, March 4th was the day of the beginning of this next wave of mass exit. And so there are some real life goodbyes in a mortal way, as well as the past few weeks. And I would expect for a little while longer too, we're having, a global, and not everyone is experiencing it, though so many are. We're going to call it global dark night of the soul. And one of the main aspects of the dark night of the soul is the purging or shedding of relationships, things that don't resonate. Relationships don't always have to mean romantic. It doesn't even have to mean other people. We're finding ways of life, behaviors, habits, things that don't resonate any longer. I mean, are leaving us. And so there's a lot of goodbyes in this way and a lot of grief, a lot of why, and feeling alone. You're meant to feel alone only so you'll reach out to find your others, us. We're here. We're here and we're doing it. We're doing it. And in this time, there's a few amazing things that are occurring. One of which is this comet that only comes every 71 years. And so the fact that it's right now, that it's occurring right now. This other comet, there's something else occurring and that happens every 71 years. I mean, what was it? It's a I can't remember what they're called, but it's a two-star system that supernovas predictably, meaning it makes a large, bright light in the sky. This is about to occur as well. There's a lot of other things going on up there, guys, is what I'm trying to tell you. So, um, Barbie says, "Hi, Mila. Hi, everybody. I'm 71 years old." Speaking of 71, wow. I just said 71 twice. Excuse me. Seen many eclipses. This was my first time I've ever seen colors coming off the sun. I saw red, pink, magenta, blue, and turquoise. Awesome. Yeah, this particular eclipse, there was I don't know if I've been to any other total eclipses other than the one back in 2017. I can tell you that I tend to always be around when there is one, meaning I never knew before. I would just, oh, hey, there's an eclipse going on, like, and I always worked graveyard most of my life. And so for me to find myself awake during an eclipse was always really fascinating. Though I think this is only my second one. I can say that I also saw rainbows. I saw some really cool stuff coming off of there. And I felt a lot of amazing activations and a lot of things occurring. Many people are being guided into motion now. And though we're still in this place of outward inaction and inward action, there's now some motion on the outside that is being asked for. And so a lot of us are finding ourselves doing what we thought we would do differently, um, slowly now. We're doing it with more intention. We're doing it more gradually. We don't do it in bursts as we did before. It's really bizarre. And this is in all ways. I'm not simply talking about one specific kind of thing. It's very fascinating to watch. In the rainbow, I was wondering if anyone else is going to say that. Hawks are everywhere, in the animal, everywhere here. To the animals are talking. That's cool. Although everywhere here too, the animals are talking. Yeah, they are. In fact, the Lakota prophecy regarding the rainbow tribe, the rainbow warriors. Some of you've heard this example before. So if you haven't, you can look it up. It's the white calf buffalo woman story, or you can look up rainbow tribe, rainbow warriors. This is a Lakota prophecy that they could not speak until a white calf buffalo was born on the reservation. And this story began with this woman giving this bundle, the peace pipe, to the Lakota tribe. And it was passed down from generation to generation. Then the last generation that had it before the one now was the grandmother. Instead of passing it to her child, she passed it to her grandson and said, "You will be the last one to hold this bundle. You'll be the last bearer of this bundle." And they could not speak of this prophecy. This was not something to speak of until the white calf buffalo was born, which happened in 1994. After that time, we've started to see more and more these albino, you could call, animals throughout the animal kingdom. Often you'll see them as pink, though this is also an example of this. So the pink dolphin, the pink fish, the pink whales, the you know white. We have a white deer that I doesn't matter where I go, there's a white deer that comes and peeks out from wherever it's at. Even when we're living in town, there's always a white deer. What I'm saying is this is part of their speech. This is to tell us we're here. This isn't a warning, it's a hey, we're here. This prophecy concludes after all of the rainbow people, the people from all tribes, from all walks of life, from every color of the rainbow, no one caring any longer about the fact that one color is different than another. Simply joined together in brotherhood and sisterhood and harmony, in community. Communication and unity is community. And honoring Mother Gaia, the earth, and allowing the trueness of what it is to be human to come through in its natural way. rather than being distracted and manipulated and indoctrinated through chemical and lies. We find that we are more and more living in a natural state. And the conclusion of this is, and then the sun shall weep into the other ocean, and Mu shall rise again. Mu is Lemuria. Lemuria is also known as the white, the crystal cave. It looks white to me. I always see her wearing a buckskin and white dress. This rainbow woman, though, she is the guardian of the crystal cave that is here on this mountain, and this is happening now, this time that we speak of, that we've heard of, that we waited to hear from. It's a long prophecy. I cannot remember his name right now. Arwell, or I'm not. I'm going to slaughter his name. Though you can find this whole prophecy spoken out by this elder if you look it up on YouTube or wherever. I've also found it by Googling it using that kind of internet. I think I used DuckDuckGo for that, but it shows you. All you have to do is type in the white calf buffalo woman or rainbow tribe prophecy, rainbow warrior prophecy, and you'll find a lot of this information. And so it's really cool. Leah, hello, lovely Mila, sending you all so much love. Thank you for the massive activations we all received via the eclipse video you shared. I'm glad you checked it out. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And it's continuing to be. There's so much more coming in, and I am just super duper excited about how much more is coming in, how much more we're getting to have, we're being gifted with. Being in a place of appreciation, in love, you'll find that all of the stuff that's meant to come in will naturally, effortlessly. This word is used very frequently by spirit these days. Effortlessly. The things that are effortless is your job. And job doesn't have the same word meaning as we tend to use it for. Other people have different things that they're good at. And the things that I'm not good at is theirs, right? The things that I'm not I'm not guided to do is not mine. When I was first put on the course of this, what I'm doing now, it started out with my overwhelm with, I had slowly become more and more invested in this social anxiety experience, not really wanting to be in crowds and large groups when I had before. And I asked Spirit, I was like, if I start YouTube and we're gonna make a town and there's these people and they're all gonna be there. And Spirit said, if it's hard, it's not your job. And what's funny is, as soon as I released that obligation of I have to, and I just let myself do what's in front of me, then I found that I slowly did end up, I have become the person that they showed me I would be. And that's why I don't get to see very far into my own life. I just get to see what it looks like for others, because it'll ruin it for me. I get to, oh no, how am I going to become that person that I had in the past anyway? So it's fascinating to see this. So if it's too hard to do at this moment, that's not for you. And I was also being shown that when I was attempting to do these other things that weren't resonating with me, or that I didn't feel comfortable doing because it just was too much energy wise or whatever, I was occupying the space for that job and eliminating the possibility for anyone else to do what they're meant to do. And I'm talking about spirit and the mission. What's your soul mission? Your soul mission is to be happy. So thank you all for coming. Hey, it's 2, 3, 4. Progression. Keep moving forward. Keep swimming. The pink elephant. Yeah, that's right, Janet. The pink elephant. We are here. We are here. And we are love. Being in the place of appreciation, love, and self-forgiveness. I know it's that word, But when we use that as a way to uncast a spell, we find that we begin to understand what the sensation of self-love. So I love you all so much. Thank you all for being here and for being on this journey with us. It's going to get so much more and better and more better. It's going to be amazing. Just allowing yourself to be in meditation and to be in love. You'll find that while you manifest, you're calling it to your heart chakra rather than your root more and more. And as you do this with a more intentional and guiding it to this heart center space of appreciation of the thing rather than desire of the thing, you'll find that it'll be within your experience very quickly. I love you all. You got this, and you're not alone. I hope.